Tonight, the green flag waves on the opening round of the American Appalachian eSports League as the thunder of the Arca Menards machine storms onto the high banks of Daytona International Speedway. 30-plus drivers, a fresh championship fight, and absolutely no room for mistakes. Daytona is the great equalizer, where strategy, patience, and survival matter just as much as outright speed. One push at the wrong moment can end a contender's night, while one perfectly timed draft could launch someone from obscurity straight into victory lane. For the veterans tonight, it's the first chance to establish control of the season. For the newcomers, it's an opportunity to shock the field of one of the biggest stages in sim racing. The pack is tight, the nerves are high, and the road to championship begins right here, right now, under the lights at Daytona. Welcome to the American Appalachian eSports League season opener at Daytona, folks. Thank you very much for joining us, folks. Thank you very much for staying tuned. It's a pleasure to be here with you on behalf of the Digital Racing Sports Network. I'm your host, AdminBoxx tonight, taking you from green to checkered flag. Without any further delay, let's take a look at our starting grid and who's taken pole position. It'll be James Wagner and Brandon Biddy on that first row, with Tyler Starcher and Dana Ryan on the second. Third row going to Andrew Floyd and Kyle Scotia. Then we'll have Philip Carter and Christopher Childers in the fourth. The fifth row belonging to Andrew Childers and Dan Kopinski. The sixth, Mark Brister and Steve Casel. Seventh going to Kyle Wells and John Cherry. Eighth row for Eric Sheffield and Cody Deek, the number 22. Jacob Brownell and Charlie Browling. Kyle Wells and Mark Olette will line the 10th. Jonathan Kibbe and Rick DeWeese will line the 11th. The 12th going to Dean Barron and Stephen Porter. Further back, it'll be Angelo Bologna and Dean Barron. Then we have Brian Knotts and Matthew Hobbs on the 14th row. Dwayne Pierce and Mike Hardy on row 15. Michael Odell and Zach Bizak in the 32nd place. 34 going to Seth Jackson and Justin Miller. 18th row going to J.R. Smitten. And that's going to round it out for us tonight. All the drivers taking to the stage. That will end at lap 30. 35 drivers taking to the grid tonight. Absolutely phenomenal to see the turnout here and the support for the American Appalachian eSports League. Big shout out and thanks to all of our partners here for Biddy's Premium Coatings, Corbin Matthews, and of course, who could be remiss without mentioning the Collateral Sports Network. As the pace car pulls in, I want to give a big shout out and thanks to everybody watching live now or in the future. And it's green, green, green here for round one of the season opener. And it'll be the 23 alongside the number 2 of Brandon Biddy. There on the inside row will be the number 23. Cheers for Dana in chat. Dana further down the order than I think they would like. 4th place, but sitting pretty in a podium position potentially tonight. And it's all green and clean on the opening 2 corners. Couple of pushes from the cars behind, but no harm, no foul there, as it looks to be pretty good for the race leaders right now. Wagner starts, Biddy, Carter, Ryan, Childers, Scotia, Childers, Brister, and then further back and down the order we go. More cheers for Dana Ryan in chat. We got 3 cheers for Dana Ryan. Let's go ahead and get Dana Ryan some obligatory screen time then. You say his name 3 times and it appears on the screen. Number 27 of Dana Ryan sitting back on that high row in second place on that row, but further back down the order has lost now 5 as the momentum seems to be there on the low line for all of the drivers. Stalling out is the number 2 of Brandon Biddy right now, just unable to get the traction that he needs coming into 3 and 4. The confidence seemingly not there, at least not this early on in the race. Big pack of cars that came out of the pits. That'll be further back. I believe that'll be Olet and the First Gear Racing team. Looking up at the front, it will be James Wagner getting a helping dose of a push from the Arby's number 17 behind. And that is a hot looking car and a hot looking sandwich on the side panel. And if you weren't hungry now, you're about to be, folks, because we're going to be looking at this car for a couple more hours together. Brandon Biddy finds the fastest lap of the race now. A 42.2 as Biddy finds the momentum and starts to get worked in. Great go for Cans here at Daytona. And that high groove definitely working its way. The 27 of Dana Ryan getting a push from behind from the 54. Kyle Socha, excuse me, helping out. And they both drop down, but the 54 of Socha abandons that run there, and it'll be 3 wide coming down the back stretch. 54 stuck in the middle of everybody right now and is gonna fall worse for wear and tumble down the order. A couple more positions lost than I think they would have liked on that run in this lap. $54-minute Maid machine. There goes a low run. That will be, is that the 22 of Cody Deek? It is Cody Deek coming back around with some speed to try to help out that high lane. Dana Ryan and John Cherry both occupying it for now. Pass for the lead as Dan Kopinski, the Garage 570 driver, now sits pretty with the inheritance there. John Cherry challenges now for the lead, and we're getting it a little squirrely as a touch from behind. The number 22 gets involved, and now the 4 of Christopher Childers wants to get his elbows out as well. A lot of movement coming out from the field right now. James Wagner, who's down 5 positions currently, trying to be patient in the execution in the number 23 but has a lot of cars that, like I said, are moving around. Taking advantage of this green and clean moment to stay hydrated, because I have a feeling like the excitement is about to boil over any minute now. The 22, the 64, and the 2 of Brandon Biddy all going after it. Here's a look from the DRSN blip cam. And we could just see how substantial these runs are from this point of view. And there's a big push from the 64 of Dan Kopinski into Cody Deek. The Oath Racing crosses the line in the lead of this event, crosses over and blocks up the 2, and that'll be a big one, as that was a big checkup from the cars behind. Dean Barron, Christopher Childers involved in those incidences. That'll be the first caution here on lap 10. And you can see by the collateral damage Sport Network graphic attached to the timing tower that we can actually track the progress of our green and clean laps versus our yellow flag running stints. And let's see, down pit road comes down. I'll be Socha coming down lane, and he's obviously, wowza, missing not only that front bumper, but obviously missing that front right tire as well. Use the quick repair to get back out on the racetrack again, and Socha will get back into the mix. Taking a look at a couple drivers that we haven't mentioned so far. Justin Miller started back in P34, has worked their way up into P22 right now. So not running too bad for the Hendrick Cars driver. Taking a look at a few other drivers. This one will be Seth Jackson, as we can take a look at his progression, and a flurry of pit stops now as darn near everybody comes into the lane, taking advantage of that free stop. Because this means that they should be able to make it to the end of the stage. Talking with some of the drivers before the race, it was going to be about 20 laps of fuel. So right now was the absolute cutover period to make it. Let's see how this changes up the order. Biddy now into the lead. Dana Ryan up into P2 now. Dan Kapinski into third. Cody Deek for Oath Racing up into fourth. Brandon Gordon in fifth. Take a look at Cody Deek's run so far, and it's been a slow and steady climb, but once he got to the top, he sure hasn't relented since. Looks like he took 2 in fuel at the pit stop cycle. Now will be Biddy, Dana Ryan, Dan Kapinski, Cody Deek, Brandon Gordon, Tyler Starcher, James Wagner, Andrew Floyd, Mark Brister, Andrew Childers in the top 10. Charlie Bowling, Jonathan Kibbe, Rick DeWeese, Angelo Bologna, Philip Carter, Justin Miller, Kyle Wells, Steve Cassell, Seth Jackson, Jacob Brownell, Eric Sheffield, Zach Pazak, Stephen Porter, Michael Odell, Dwayne Pierce, Mike Hardy, Junior Simonton, excuse me, Mark Olette, Kyle Soka, Brian Knotts, Christopher Childers, Dean Barron, excuse me, Matthew Hobbs, John Cherry, and Raymond Bell. And we're going to get squared up 2x2 Noah's Ark formation for the race restart here on lap 12. And seemingly should be a green run to the checkered, or excuse me, to the stage end. Stage end going to occur at lap 30. Hopefully that's when we see our next caution, the next time we see the official iRacing safety car. And it's green, green, green here for the race start again. And we're going to have another caution come out immediately. And that is definitely a cautions breed cautions moment. As we had Porter, Hobbs, Hardy, Socha, Cherry all involved in that. Let's see if we can get a replay of what happened here on the race start, or the race restart, I should say. Looks like just a big old accordion effect, and then the orange machine comes up into the highest side, collects the KFC number 19, and then it's all chaos and collision from there. I just had to go ahead and say something about going green and clean to the checkered flag, didn't I? Gave myself the old commentator's curse. Taking a look again, pit stops coming in. This will be an interesting group of individuals making this call. They're further back in the order. I mean, this is pretty much Kyle Socha, Mike Hardy, Zach Pizak, Brian Knotts, Jonathan Kibbe, who else? Odell, Bell, Hobbs, Porter, and Simonton. So a couple of drivers that really had nothing to lose. By coming in for an additional pit stop, securing their, oh God. Oh, I thought that was the replay of just what we just saw, but apparently not. As whom is that? Is that? Oh no. What happened here to the number 16 on the exit coming out of the pits? Just got railroaded by the looks of it. Ooh, and I think that's going to be another trip down the lane for Zach. So these Arca Menards Series cars are some of the most unique machines in American stunt car racing because they blend older NASCAR technology with modern safety systems. They're built to teach developing drivers how to handle heavy, high-powered stunt cars before moving on to the NASCAR National Series. Lucky Dog getting waved by. Christopher Childers getting waved by. And a handful of drivers stuck behind the pace car. Get the wave around notifications in the bottom left-hand side of your screen. And they'll catch up to the back of the pack on this opener. The 2 Biddy leads Dana Ryan, the 1-2 combo right now. Brandon Biddy from Biddy Family Racing. I apologize for calling it Biddy Family Farms in the previous race broadcast, but no, this is the Biddy Family Racing. I don't know. Biddy Family Farms kind of rolls off the tongue. Instead of a Miller Lite logo, we have a beer and we have a goat in a haystack. I like it. I like it. Brandon Biddy, hit me up for designs for your new paint scheme. We'll come up with something for the Biddy Family Farms. But here's Dana Ryan, the number 27, Rocket One Racing, and the Biddy Family Racing partner. Dan Kopinski and the Garage 570 team. The pace car is going to pull in, and Biddy's going to control the single file run. And the field gets accordioned up again. We almost have an accident, but Biddy makes off like a bandit. But Dana Ryan closes down the gap immediately with 14 to go left in the stage. Who's going to come out on top? Biddy, Ryan, Kopinski, the 1-2-3 combo. Cody Deek now finding P2 and carrying a ton of speed. lead as well. Couple drivers blending into the racing line there. So things getting a little hectic further back, but we managed to keep it clean. And Cody Deek has managed to pull away a tremendous 0.3 gap. And there goes another caution. And I'm not seeing the cause for this one that came out. But meatball flag for Dean Barron would be indicative of that. Let's get a replay and see if we can catch up with what happened here. And it looks like the 77 and it looks like the 26 go 3 wide, and then the 77 comes down on the me team. The 42 gets clipped, the 13 gets clipped, and then cars go airborne from there. This run right now for Cody Deek and the Oath Racing team has been pretty phenomenal so far. Up 15 positions from where they started this event. And sitting pretty in that first place position. Mark Brister for SRM back in P2. Steve Cassell in third. Kyle Wells in fourth, and Brandon Biddy falling back down into fifth. Charlie Bowling for CZ Motorsports, the number 81 Taco Bell machine, has a special place in my heart, is up 12 positions tonight. Dana Ryan in the number 27, who fell back single file line, goes to P7 on this third restart. Couple of drivers thinking about coming down pit road. Socha, Olat, Kibbe, Pierce, and Porter will be the ones to come down pit lane. Back over to the 22 of Deke. Justin Miller right now being the biggest gainer and the driver to keep an eye on, the number 95, HendrickCars.com. up 25 positions into P9. Next up will be Seth Jackson, up 18. Cody Deek up those 15. Angelo Bologna up 13, and Charles Bowling up the 12. Looking at drivers with the fastest 5 laps. It'll actually go the way of Socha, Kopinski, then Cherry, Cassell, and then Dana Ryan. Lights are out on the pace car. Let's be honest, folks. Half of racing is decision making, and most drivers get them wrong. AI Chief Racing gives you real-time strategy, fuel calls, and a crew chief that actually tells you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. Drive smarter, race better, AIChiefRacing.com. Green, 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 here again. Single file this time around. Hopefully we keep it a little bit more straight and narrow this time on the race start. Only 9 to go before the stage concludes. Bowling, Wells, Kopinski, all shaking it up, and I see an accident in the background. That might be a caution coming out. Unless that was a solo car incident, then we'll stay green. Caution does come out now. That'll be the 4th one here for 22 laps of running. As we sit behind the official safety car, we'll take a quick break, folks, and we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. Flurry of pit stops now come out. Floyd, Baloney, Gordon, Carter come down the lane by the looks of it. Wells, Deeg, Bowling, Biddy, Brister, Ryan, Cassell, Starcher, Kapinski, and Miller round out your current top 10. End of line penalty goes to Brandon Gordon, the number 28. Kyle Wells, the number 41 Napa Auto Parts machine, in the lead of the event right now, but sits awkwardly between the leader and the pace car, so should get the wave around. Excuse me, Kyle Well is in the lead of the race, the number 51. It's the 41 who's out of position. Or is that a mismatched car? That is Kyle Wells. I apologize. We got a mismatched car. The 41 is the 51, as Cody Deek is in second place. And on the low run is going to be the Taco Bell machine, the number 81. A lot of movement there from the 81, and the helping hand of the one behind is not actually benefiting either of them, as they both lose out to Biddy and Ryan. 22 of Cody Deek is going to lose it, go straight up into the wall, and that'll be our third big one tonight. Holy Toledo! What a big incident. Biddy, Wells, Starcher now the trio in the lead of the race. With 4 laps to go till the end of the stage, I think we might get to it behind the pace car. Now we need to start taking a look at the fuel for some of these guys. Brandon Biddy in the lead, but I am curious though if they can make it on fuel. It's low on fuel, but I think 3 laps behind the pace car will help Brandon Biddy get to the stage.
That's a stage for us. We call in stage early.
Copy that. Brownell letting me know that we're calling the stage there early, so I'll go ahead and grab Brandon Biddy. Thank you, Brownell. And let's go ahead and grab Biddy there. Race control giving us the word. Hey there, Brandon Biddy. I've hijacked you and bragged you into the broadcast booth. Is that okay with you, sir?
It is.
Hey, how are you doing and how are you feeling? I think we've got this one right. You've got the stage win.
Feeling good. I'm pitting right now. I have to serve an EOL for that though. These Mustangs, the front end is a little weird, and if you are bumping a guy just right, you can spin them out. And I believe that is what happened there, because I didn't mean to, cause the accident.
Oh, absolutely. No harm intended. But yeah, it just seemed like such a strange incident. A lot of these incidents are coming from being that third car giving a bump to the guy in the middle. We talked about it in the season opener as well, or the test round, that tailgate dropping down on the back of your pickup truck and getting that push from that third car. How important is that, going into these 30 lap stages?
That's very important. I think that a lot of guys are just going to have to just back off some and not make as crazy as moves. The 22 came down on me right before that happened on the back stretch, and I had to slam on the brakes to let him up. And yeah, it's just these guys got to be a little bit more careful, because stuff like that will happen. And I was backing off of him, but unfortunately he went around.
This might seem like a silly question to ask, but how do you drive a little bit more carefully when you're going 180 miles an hour, and at tracks like Daytona and Talladega Speedway, cars are using tapered spacers to get reduced horsepower, preventing you from going as fast as you possibly can in these raw machines?
It is all about throttle control. On super speedways, a lot of guys will, have their foot on their brake and the throttle like you normally do. I tend to not use the brake as much, unless it's something like that where he came up on me. It's just all about throttle control. I think a lot of guys think you just got to be wide open all the time because it's a super speedway, but that is not what you do.
Well, thank you very much for the insight, Brandon. Really appreciate it. Well, congratulations on getting the win of the stage. I'll throw you back into Biddy Family Racing, sir. Anybody you want to shout out or anybody you'd like to thank on the victory?
Yeah, just my team, and we got another 30 laps, so let's see what happens.
Let's see what happens. Take care, Brandon.
All right, man.
That was Brandon Biddy, our stage winner. But again, unfortunately, getting that end of line penalty for the incident there. Again, accidents happen in motor racing. So I think he definitely showed a lot of remorse for the situation, but accidents just happen at the end of the day. Taking a look at the best times. A couple of interesting stops here for some of the field. Rick DeWeese with a 5-second stop there on lap 14. Kyle Wells came in on lap 10. Zach came in on lap 14 with a 16-second stop, gains 29 positions on this run. Quite the run for Zach right now. Taking foreign fuel for both of those stops by the looks of it. And leapfrogging the rest of the field when the pit stop cycle kicked off here on lap 23 and lap 27. In and in for Biddy, Barron, Bell, and Porter. And the lights are out on the pace car. Looks like lights are out on the pace car, and we'll be ready to rumble here for the remaining 30 in just a few moments' time. Charisse, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Thank you very much for staying tuned. Appreciate you being here. Better late than never. Or as our good friend Sheck says, better out than in, I always say. Charisse asking in the YouTube chat, what shenanigans have we missed? Not too much, to be honest with you. A lot of yellow flag running. We did have our stage win come out as we take the green flag again. It'll be Kyle Wells and Rick DeWeese, the 1-2 punch combo, the 51-86. We did have an end-of-line penalty come out for our stage winner, but no harm, no foul there. Brandon Biddy getting the stage win. The 16 of Zach Pazak doing a great job of climbing back through the order. He was involved in a couple of incidences early on in this race and really has a challenging recovery drive ahead of him, but could be on a race-winning strategy tonight. The Crunchmobile of Raymond Bell. Now Andrew Floyd goes for the lead, drags the 16 along with him, and that'll be a hell of a run for that bottom row. The 41 getting close behind the 16, getting into that arrow wake and pushing forward with that Jedi mind trick that we analyzed last week. That third car's importance playing a factor here. Both the 81. And there goes a move to the bottom apron. That'll be sketchy as heck for the number 6, but he's able to keep it collected somehow, some way. Holy smokes. Andrew Floyd on the apron manages to save it. '81 pushes the 86. Getting a help from Wagner, the 23. Drivers fanning out every which way, trying to find a line to occupy that is going to be successful. with just 27 laps to go here for the remaining stage. Who's going to come out on top and who's going to come out best of the rest? Drivers all trying to stake their claim in the championship contention. And there's another big one from behind, and more cars get involved. Couple of meatball flags getting thrown out there. See what happened on the replay. Looks like a checkup there in the middle for the 41. 46 comes up. The 12 gets airborne, and then cars get collected down to the apron in just utter chaos. Not the meatballs, says Charisse. Not the meatballs. Yes, Charisse. Yes, unfortunately, we will see some meatballs tonight. We've had a plenty of meatballs. I wish I could show you a picture of what a meatball flag looks like. It's just, if there was an orange meatball, it would definitely be the meatball flag. We're going to talk to Jacob Brownell here. Just going to grab him and we're going to just chat him up for a little bit. With Parmesan, Jeff Burke says, I don't know. The only type of Parmesan I like is on a good Caesar salad. What type of cheese do they use on a chicken Parmesan? Parmesan cheese. Duh. So maybe I do like Parmesan cheese. Moving swiftly on from that, Jacob Brownell.
Don't know who it was. Oh, hey, how we doing? How we doing?
I'm good. I've hijacked you into the broadcast booth. Hope that's okay with you, my good friend.
Hey, anytime.
Right on. I see a couple sponsors on your paint scheme here. You want to talk to us about that? You want to talk to us about your theme, who you promote, what you promote here at the American Appalachian eSports League?
You know, this car was inspiration from one of my other cars. It's kind of slightly based on my truck scheme. I represent that old Grab Labs on the side because that is my that would be my piece of choice, my company I like to gravitate to. We worked on this color scheme for a good little while, and as it came together, it just got better and better. And normally I'm 77, and I got taken for this run, so I just kind of fell into the 6-7 league, and I know that people love it, so I just had to own it.
Well, it's looking pretty fly out there. And right now, Brownell, you're running pretty decent yourself, up 10 positions, running that number 67 up to P7 and the 10 positions gained. Any thoughts, concerns, or plans going into the final 25 or so laps?
Well, my big thing is I hung back as far as I could for the beginning because I kind of figured it's a race opener. You know, I got a gun to feel it out. I still have all 3 of my fast repairs, so I'm ready to start charging up here because I'm going to give them a run for their money tonight.
Well, you know, we didn't count you down and out last week, and we saw what happened. We can possibly see another run happen again tonight, but I won't say any nice things about you because when commentators say nice things about drivers, things go awry, so we'll just leave it at that for now, Brownell. Anybody you'd like to shout out or anybody you'd like to thank tonight?
Hey, I got to thank Raymond. He's been working really, really hard, helping us get this league together. I know Kibby and Biddy have been busting their butts to promote this league, and I think we are starting to grow this into something pretty good. We got some kinks to work out, but that's stuff that all comes with a newer league. It'll fall into place. Pretty much them guys right there, they're doing great. My team is doing what they can, and we got a lot of great racing ready for us.
Absolutely. Can't wait to see what you guys are able to produce throughout the season, especially once we go to some of my home tracks as well, like Sonoma. I can't wait for that action.
Right, we got some good stuff in the lineup, and I hope we're going to bring some action that you guys want to see.
Absolutely. Thank you, Brownell. I'll drop you back off in the Blind Squirrel Racing Garage, if that's correct.
That is, sir. Thank you much.
Thank you. Have a great night, my friend.
Keep your eyes peeled.
Drop him back off over at the Blind Squirrels. That was Brownell. And we just talked to currently running in 7th, started in 17th. So good run there for Brownell. Taking the foreign fuel on the 27th lap. And it's keeping his nose clean and staying out there in the meantime. Who do we have for teams tonight? Well, do I have a button for you? Oh, that is not the right button. Well, we have the CZ Motorsports of Charlie Bowling. And I'm trying to see if there's any other CZ Motorsports. No. We have the pace car coming in now. Charlie Bowling taking to the lead all by his lonesome for CZ Motorsports. Brandon Gordon with no affiliation. Wagner with no affiliation. Knotts with no affiliation. AF Racing for Tyler Starcher there. And was that an instantaneous caution? I believe it was. Let's see if we can get a replay of what happened here on the race restart. Not seeing anything that catches my eye. Oh, the 88 going up into the wall. That'll be Junior Simonton. And we're back behind the pace car. 7th caution here on lap 39 of 60. And we're not quite into the final fuel window yet. One of the things we will figure out for you, Charisse, is to get that graphic sorted for the teams. I promise to get that sorted for you because we do have quite a few people all in the same team. So in the Garage 70 team, we have Brandon Gordon, Dan Kopinski, Dwayne Pierce. For Blind Squirrels, it's going to be Dean Barron, Jacob Brownell, Matthew Hobb, Raymond Bell, and one more driver I can't see the name of. For the Biddy Farms, it'll be Brandon Biddy, Dana Ryan, James Wagner, Junior Simonton, and Tyler Starcher. For the Sea Bears, Brian Knotts, Kibbe, and then it'll be Zach. SRM, Brian Brister, Rick Deweese, Seth Jackson. Alpha Racing, Andrew Childers, Chris Childers, John Cherry, and Michael Odell. The Melon Man Mafia, Solo Dolo for Steve Cassell. For the Crack House, Charlie Bowling, Cody Deek, Justin Miller, and Kyle Socha. Couple of pit stops coming in. Zach Pazak, Dana Ryan, Matthew Hobbs, Michael Odell, and Junior Simonton. Just a few coming through to their boxes. Get a little bit of fuel and back out on the racetrack just as the 20 lap mark is hit. So They might have hit the nail on the head there with the strategy call. Sharice says, I think this is the biggest race I've watched so far. And that is completely understandable. I'm happy to be your first and your biggest. Lucky dog going to Eric Sheffield. But it means so much more when you know someone that's part of the grid. I think I've seen races with esports drivers and official iRacing broadcasts, and nothing quite beats the mark when you know the guys on the grid, guys and gals on the grid, and what they're competing for, what they're capable of doing. Speaking of which, let's see if we can talk to Charlie Bowling and the Crack House team and see how he's doing. Charlie Bowling, I've hijacked you into the broadcast booth. Is that okay with you?
Absolutely.
Right on, right on. Just wanted to talk to you first and foremost about the pace scheme that you have going on right now. Of course, I'm a big fan of the TB, and it seems like you are as well.
Oh, yeah.
Right on. Any other favorite schemes that you would pick, or any other paint scheme that you wish you could have had other than the 81 Taco Bell livery?
No, maybe one I made myself, but I didn't feel like doing all that.
Oh, that's a lot of work. I'm a trading paints guy myself, or I'll have a friend hook me up. Right now, you sit pretty in the lead, but I think you're going to have to make one more stop to make it to the end, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. Yeah, I didn't want to put myself in a bad situation there, pitting too early, have to pit again. So I was like, man, I'm going to try to stretch this out as much as possible, make it to where I can at least get to the finish, hopefully spend as least amount of time back in the chaos as possible.
Sounds like a very smart and wise move. Thanks for sharing us the insight on your strategy. How's it going for the Crack House team as well?
Well, last I checked, all three of my teammates are back in the 20s and beyond. They just keep getting caught up in trouble, so leading the charge here.
Leading the charge and all by your lonesome, no teammates to give you a helping hand. I'll leave you to it, Charlie Bowling. Anybody that you want to shout or anybody you want to thank before I drop you back off in the Crack House?
Admin's running this league, and you up there in the broadcast booth, so keep doing what you do, man.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Thanks for supporting the league yourself and the Crack House team. Take care.
Yes, sir. Later.
And Charlie Bowling getting spit out like a cannon. And we're going to get another caution come out instantly. And I think this will be the flurry of pit stops now. See if we can get the DRSN replay of what happened. Couple of drivers stepping out of line on the restart here, and I think this is going to lead to a little bit of trouble, if I'm not mistaken. We cross the stripe and things are seemingly okay. Oh, and there's the incident way up ahead, and more incidences happening now as drivers cross the apron. Oh, goodness, and that's going to be the 22 getting collected in that. Cody Dake not having his race go the way he needed it to after the first stage. Sharice, you can't tell me things like that, Sharice. You have weak bloodlines? You can't handle the Taco Bell, Sharice? Come on, girl. Come on. Tell me a little bean burrito with onions. You're breaking my heart, Charisse. We're becoming BFFs, and you've just ruined the relationship. Here comes the flurry of pit stops. Bowling, Gordon, Wagner, Notch, Starcher, Kibbe. And I believe the flurry will stop at Pierce all the way back. No, Dwayne Pierce stays out. The only driver on lap 27 to stay out on fuel other than, so Brandon Gordon, Brian Knotts, Dwayne Pierce, and that'll be Dweez and Barron. Socha stays out. Interesting. So perhaps a few other drivers in the field waiting for a few more cautions to come out. As you can see from the race progress bar, it hasn't been the most green race. But these cars have absolutely no driver aids whatsoever to assist with. Here's Dwayne Pierce's run, but still has to make another pit stop, so I'm not sure what the strategy call is. Let's take a look at Dweez. I think we can probably talk to Dweez here. Yes, we can talk to Dweez. We'll grab him and inject him into the DRSN broadcast booth. Rick Dweez, I've had jacked you and brought you into the DRSN broadcast booth. Is that okay with you, sir?
Yeah, that's perfectly fine, buddy.
Awesome. Glad to hear it. Sir, just checking in with you and your strategy right now. You started all the way down in P22. You're currently running in fourth. I'm not sure if you know it, but you're one of the front runners on your strategy who came in on lap 35.
Yeah, so I feel like I'm going to make it another, I want to say about five or six laps. And then I'm going to come in because we're probably going to have a caution in about 2. And then I'm good to go, I believe, for the rest of the race. At least that's my plan. I hope to pull this victory off. It's been rough. I don't think I've hit a single thing yet, which is amazing.
Wow.
And the race chat has just been lit. It's been wild.
Wild good, wild bad.
You know, just wild.
I completely understand. It's the season opener. Folks are still feeling each other out, getting to know each other. And at least for yourself, how has the team SRM been running up until this point?
I think we've been pretty good. We've had at least a car up towards the front, at least at some point, I do think. Whether it's been Mark or Seth. I think I led a few laps earlier. So we've been trying to stay up front, but we've also been trying to avoid the weapons on track. And there are a couple of them.
Absolutely. It all comes to be part of the strategy, especially at Daytona with it being a super speedway. Drivers, like we heard earlier from a couple other hands, may not be well equipped to manage the speeds and the risks associated with the high octane racing that is associated with Daytona.
Yeah, so far it's been the restarts that have really been rough. So.
Speaking of restart, before we get back to it, I'll drop you back off. Anybody you'd like to shout out or thank?
Just everybody watching the broadcast and you for doing the broadcast.
Thank you so much, brother. Good luck out there.
Thank you.
Hopefully I didn't ruin his run. The number 86 of DeWeese getting swamped up by the 23. I'm going to take a little bit of fault in that for distracting him. I apologize, Mr. DeWeese. Now he's down to 5th, falls back in line behind the 23. The 86 shakes it up with the 77. 95 on the high line. The HendricksCars.com machine trying to help out to the best of his ability. That's going to be a big push on the high line. They're going to go 4 deep on that push. DeWeese might get a little wiggle there. He drops down to the low line in anticipation of the big one. I think he saw that push coming from a long way back and wanted to be nowhere near it when it happened. He falls back in line behind the 23 of James Wagner, who's all the way back up into the battle now for the podium. Brian Knotts trailing Brandon Gordon. It'll be the 28 leading, then the 95 of Justin Miller, then Brian Knotts, and another caution comes out with 13 to go, and I think that the strategy call plays out just right for some drivers here. Let's get a look a little further back at what happened here. And you can see the field just bunching up into that 4-car pack, and then the bumping begins. The 57 goes up and around. Let's see if we can talk to James Wagner here. James Wagner, I've grabbed you and dragged you into the DRSN broadcast booth. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, how's it going?
I'm doing just fine. You're sitting a little pretty right now as you now inherit the lead of the race. Is this where you want to be going into the final 10 laps or so?
Well, it's better than being in the middle. That's what I've seen so far.
That's fair. That's fair. At least you're in control of the field right now. And back where you started this race, it didn't go your way at the stage break. Talk to us about what happened there.
It's just a lot of lap traffic. We were doing a lot of fuel saving to get ready, and it got called a little early, so the fuel savings didn't work. But as you can see, the guys in front of me just had to fuel up, and I have enough to make my green-white checkers if needed, and I should be good to go for the rest of the race.
Right on.
A little bit of fuel tactics.
Heck yeah. Good strategy calls tonight, James Wagner. Anybody you'd like to shout out or anybody you'd like to thank tonight?
I'd just like to thank my family for putting up with my ass. So,
right on, James. Thank you so much. And remind me where I'm dropping you back off one more time.
I'm in the Biddies group.
Biddies group, Biddy family.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Yep,
much.
Yep.
Good luck to you, James.
All right. Have a good one.
You too. Dropping Wagner back with the Biddy family racing group. I don't know why it says none on his team name. We'll have to check in with James Wagner and correct that later down the road. Wagner leading Bowling, Childers, Brownell, Biddy, Kibbe, Kopinski, Olet, Zach, Sheffield, Childers, and then Deke round up the top 12. Dana Ryan back in 13th. Bologna in 14th. Odell, Miller, Knotts, Jackson, Wells, Socha, Barron, Gordon, Pierce, DeWeese, Cassell, Brister, Floyd, Cherry, Simonton, Hobbs, Porter, and Bell are in the lane, with Carter and Hardy back down a few laps. Kayla Wagner in the YouTube chat saying she loves putting up with him. That's great to hear, Kayla. Thank you for your support, Kayla. Thank you very much for being here. Really goes a long way that you're supporting your partner in crime and what they love to do. It really does show the sign of a good and healthy relationship when you're allowed to support each other to doing your own hobbies. I must absolutely commend that, and I'm super jealous. '23 of James Wagner could take the provisional win tonight, barring any post-race penalties, of course. Lights are out on the pace car, and we're ready to go racing again. Single file on the restart, and it's green, green, green for the 23, the 81, and the 20, the 1, 2, 3 punch combo. Whoa, big moves from the 81, a big block from the number 20 behind. Andrew Childers isn't going to be too pleased with that. There's a big run from the number 2 behind. Brandon Biddy from Biddy Family Racing finding a good run of things. There's my man, Jacob Brownell in that 67. Charging through the field right now. He said he had a couple of quick repairs left. He wanted to use them. Hopefully he doesn't need them going into the final 9 laps to the checkered flag. Charlie Bowling, Jacob Brownell, Dan Kopinski now the 1, 2, 3. Josie in the YouTube chat saying, hi, I am the number 86's daughter. And saying hi, well, the 86 is Rick DeWeese. Well, hello to Lady DeWeese in the YouTube chat. Thank you very much for supporting us. Jeff Berg cheering on. Kibbe in the background, the number 13 in 9th position, deep in the field right now. And there's a lot of action going on at the front. Biddy and Charlie Bowling going after it, but the 81 loses ground on the bottom row there, trying to get help from the 64, but the 20 is not helping that row at all. So the 64 backs out with a little slingshot engaged to the 81. 67 trying to bump the Miller Lite number 2 of Brandon Biddy to the front of the field with 8 laps left to go. Further back through the midfield, Jonathan Kibbe, Brian Knotts, Justin Miller, Angelo all going after it. Brandon Gordon finds the new fast lap of the race. But how is that going to help him now with just 7 laps remaining? Coley, Biddy, Kapinski, Brownell drops to 4th, 5th. Brownell's moving around and weaving more than a knitting grandma. And there's a big one with the 83. And that will be a huge wreck in the background. Let's get a replay of what happened here. As I think this happened deep in the field, the 22 gets touched by the 93, and then it's all to hell and back. So this changes things pretty dramatically for the field. Lindsay DeWeese in the YouTube chat saying, not the meatballs. Yes, indeed, the meatballs. 5 laps left to go. This might be a sprint to the end based on how long these safety cars have been. I wouldn't be surprised if we fall into an automatic green-white checker situation. Taking a look at the fuel. Dana Ryan, Rick DeWeese, Dean Barron into the pits. I think those drivers are perhaps expecting another caution. Again, big shout out and thanks to Shane Cochran at Collateral Damage Sports Network for all of the overlays that you see on screen. If you need anything related to SDK, whether it be for NASCAR, road racing, make sure you reach no further than Shane Cochran 3 on Discord. Now, with 4 to go, I have a feeling like it's going to be a 2-lap shootout to get to the checkered. A little bit of a roller coaster ride there for Charlie Bowling. Currently running in first place, started the race in 18th, sat back there for nearly 10 laps before charging through the field on lap around 20 or so. Got back into the lead and then held on through the pit stop cycle Lights are out here at Daytona on the pace car. And this is going to be a 3-lap shootout to the end. As we check out Dan Kopinski's timeline. The pace car gets ready to pull in. Ready to take to the final 2 laps of the race, folks. Two by two, we're gridded up. 64 and 81 line the first row. The 2 and the 20 on the second. 67 and the 23. The 11 and the 13. The 16 and the 95. There in the background. Rounding out the top 10. And it's green, green, green with 4 laps left to go. Now 3 as the leaders cross the line. Charging number 23, and there will be another caution coming out. Let's see if we can see what happened back here to Dana Ryan. Oh, just gets squeezed in a 3 wide and perhaps overreacted a little bit and comes up into the 77. Ooh, then the 21 comes down across the apron and across the field. Oof. As we sit behind the pace car, we're going to take a quick break, folks. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. And we're back, folks. Couple of drivers having to come down pit lane. That shakes up the order. So this is going to be our first green-white checkered of the race, meaning that we will go into bonus laps. This event's supposing to end on lap 60, but we will go past that, plus 2 laps for every green-white checkered. Two by two, Noah's Ark formation. Pace car ready to pull in. And the field will go the way of Charlie Bowling and Dan Kopinski, Brandon Biddy, and Brownell, the first 2 rows. Let's kick it off into high gear for the final 2 laps of running here under the lights at Daytona. Green, green, green for the final time, and that'll be 2 laps left to go. '67 of Brownell and the Blind Squirrel Racing Team trying to find a way by, but under attack from Andrew Childers. And that'll be a pass for the lead. Brandon Biddy getting around Charlie Bowling. And this might all pop off here. And now with a 13 going around, and that'll take out nearly half of the field. That leaves Biddy, Brownell, and Bowling. Oh, and Zach Pazak gets a meatball flag. Well, half the field gets a meatball flag. It's Seth Jackson, Odell, Zach Pazak, Brian Knotts, and John Cherry, Kyle Socha. Oh, my goodness. Starcher, Simonton, Wagner, Floyd, Childers, Kibbe, all involved. Take another look at what happens here. And the 13 gets spun sideways, and then just the collector after that. Cars are airborne, cars are upside down. It is a mess. But not if you're Biddy, Brownell, or Bowling. Sheffield makes it out clean. Dan Kopinski makes it out clean. Justin Miller might inherit the lead of the race here tonight. because the front runners all came in on lap 43, they could be running dangerously low on fuel. There's the expected fuel mileage that we could see. And Biddy ends up staying out with Brownell and Bowling. Couple of drivers in through the lane. Starcher, Cherry, Simonton, Wagner, Floyd, Porter, Hobb, Bell, all through into the pits. Now Biddy is right where he wants to be. In control of the field. The 67 primed for a podium as well. Charlie Bowling in the number 81 in third. Two by two behind the pace car, 67 and the 2 line themselves up. Ready to take the final green flag, hopefully, here for the Arca Menards Rookie Series. Hi, Deborah. Thank you very much for joining us in the YouTube chat. Really appreciate you being here. Brandon Biddy, Jacob Brownell, Charles Bowling, Eric Sheffield. Line the first 2 rows. Will it be anybody from outside those 2 rows, though? Justin Miller in the number 95 prime with fuel to run a little bit longer than the rest of the field. And green flag is in the air. The 2 gets a great jump start over the 67, who's caught sleeping at the wheel. Chomping off the nose of the number 81's run is the 67 with a little hip check to the number 2 of Brandon Biddy. Drag down in towards 3 and 4. Down the back stretch here at Daytona, we go racing. A little cautious there from the 67, but committed to the inside line and carries the speed through on the banking. If we get to the stripe, it'll be 1 to go. It'll be 1 to go, folks, even though the 67 spun of Brownell, and it's all popping off. Brandon Biddy, Eric Sheffield, Christopher Childers in 3rd place. The 81 goes into the back of a few cars. Who's going to come out on top? Pass for the lead. Charles Bowling goes bowling, and it's going to be Dana Ryan from way downtown. Holy smokes. Dana Ryan. Through 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3, being Ryan, Bowling, and Childers. Holy Toledo, what a finish. Dana Ryan comes from nowhere in the final few laps. Holy smokes! Just when you thought a man was down and out, he comes back and pulls off a miracle run. Dana Ryan at the back of the pack, having the worst run of it through the middle part of the stage, started off in 4th. Was looking good for the stage win. Didn't go his way, but it did go his way when it matters most. Dana Ryan, go ahead and burn it down. Enjoy the victory. Way to go, Dana Ryan. The number 27 enjoys his burnout over the Daytona infield. Let's go ahead and take a look at the unofficial results. Dana Ryan in first place, Charlie Bowling in second, Christopher Childers in third. Hard charger being Seth Jackson with 27 positions gained. Most laps led going to Charlie Bowling. Fast lap going to Kyle Socha. Dana Ryan, Bowling, Childers, then Biddy, Kasel, Jackson, Deke, Sheffield, Barron, Wells, Pierce, Pizak, Floyd, Odell, Wagner, Brownell, Cherry, Childers, Kibbe, Simonton. Porter, Hobbs, Bell, Carter, and Hardy. Getting our drivers ready for their interviews in just a few moments. And it looks like we've got Dana Ryan already pulled in. So let's go ahead and talk to Dana in just a few moments. Dana Ryan, you were able to come pretty much from nowhere tonight to come home with the victory. I mean, you started off the race in P4. It didn't go well for you at the stage break. What does it take to climb back through a pack like this with so many cautions coming out?
A lot of luck. Yeah, I mean, we had a fast car, had some unlucky breaks at the beginning, and got an EOL at the very end there, and I think we was back in 30th.
Yeah.
And a couple cautions later, we're 13th, and then all heck broke loose on the last lap. So, yeah, pretty exciting. It's Daytona.
Absolutely. It's Daytona. Could have expected nothing less than this pure madness. But I mean, you just had the mental fortitude as well to keep your nose clean despite it not going right for you at the middle part of the stage. You know, what was going through your head at that point of the race? And be honest with me, at one point, did you want to call it quits?
No, again, it's Daytona. I mean, I don't ever give up on a race. That's just in my nature. But yeah, I mean, we come down, we did our last fast repair right there in that last crash, and I thought, man, you know, it was 10 to go at that time. I said, we're just going to go and see what happens. And man, just it's funny how the cards fall.
Yeah, it really is. Dana Ryan, I mean, just hats off to you for keeping your neck out there and keeping your head up above water, because look at what happened at the end of the day. I mean, if there's ever a showcase of never give up on a race, this is it. Whether in open lobbies, a league race, whatever it is, you know, never give up, because you never know what the results are going to pan out to be. And Dana Ryan, I think, proved just about everybody wrong. And even the cheers in chat were going quiet there for a little bit for you. But when it came time for the checkered flag, you know, they lit it up again.
Yeah, they're a passionate group. They love this stuff. They get mad when something goes wrong, and they're, you know, just like any race fan. But yeah, and this win is pretty special to me anyway, because that paint scheme that's on my car, my father used to race that scheme back in the 70s.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, he passed away, and so yeah, we got smiles in the chat, and I think we got a smile from heaven too.
Absolutely. Way to dedicate the win. And the number 27 plastered on the door is going to be keeping it held high on the number 1 spot for the championship lead for a little while. Anybody you'd like to shout out, or anybody you'd like to thank beyond the win for the 27 tonight, Dana, right?
Yeah, shout out to my teammates all at Biddy Family Racing. We had 5 of them tonight, so a lot of chatter going on there. Shout out to everybody watching. My brother-in-law, sister-in-law, my brother, my sister, my niece, and my mother if she's watching. Hi, Mom.
Yeah, you had one heck of a crowd. I think from the start of the race, it was Darren Ryan, Junior Ryan, Taylor Ryan. Who else was in there? Jesus Saves was in there. And then, yes, your niece came in a little bit later as well to cheer you on. So, yeah, just about everybody but the kitchen sink, it looks like. Was there a dog cheering you on as well, Dana?
She might have been upstairs. I don't know.
Right on, Dana. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for supporting this league. It means a lot to us. The American Appalachian eSports League Arca Menards Series Round 1 winner, Dana Ryan, tonight.
Thanks, y'all. We'll see you next week.
See you next week, brother. Dana Ryan taking the race win, coming back from P30. Hell of a run. Not seeing anybody else coming into the broadcast waiting room. So that means it's going to be time to close things out, folks. Thank you very much for joining. Thank you very much for staying tuned. It's been a pleasure to take you from green to checkered flag. I've been your host, AdminBoxx, on behalf of the DRSN. Thank you so much. Have a great night. And as always, make sure you stay safe out there. Bye-bye for now.